So there's no way I'm gonna be able to watch the new Spongebob episodes that air this Friday and make a new video on them and then upload at normal time on Saturday. Well, actually I didn't have time to upload anything at normal time on Saturday. It's Sunday now that I'm recording this and finishing this video up, and yeah, I'm working full time, so it's hard to fit in recording and editing and everything, but I'm gonna do my best to stay on schedule in the future. But today we are doing the top 10 worst episodes list for season 6 to wrap the season up. So let's get into it.
Hey!
Okay, so at number 10 we have Shell Shocked. Gary being hurt and in pain is not something I want to see. It's a bit alarming that most plots with the pet in the show is just about him being abused. Angry Jack is funny and his commercial is the highlight of the episode, but that's just because there is nothing else that's good here. SpongeBob breaking every shell in Angry Jack's store is predictable and unfunny, and super dragged out as well. I just feel bad for Gary. At number 9 we have Grooming Gary. So back to back bad Gary episodes. It's literally just the Great Snail Race over again. And unlike that episode, Grooming Gary is not funny at all. You'd think after the Great Snail Race, SpongeBob would have learned something, but nope. Once again, poor Gary. At 8, we have Giant Squidward. Kind of an irritating Squidward torture episode, but just kind of. It's not good or anything, but it's just not as frustrating as most other bad episodes in this little subgenre of SpongeBob episodes. Like, it's one of those episodes where you kind of just don't hate it because it's nothing new. The townsfolk sucks and Squidward gets punished for no reason. I've seen this before and I've seen it done more annoyingly before. It's still a bad episode though. At number 7 we have Cephalopod Lodge. This episode is at the same time the worst Squidward torture episode of the season, and at the meantime one of the better ones. The plot is really frustrating, and SpongeBob has no business being all up in Squidward's business, like he is in this episode. None of this annoying stuff would have happened if SpongeBob could have just let Squidward be happy, but as we see here, and in another episode down the line, SpongeBob is a horrible friend that can't leave Squidward alone. The reason it's not higher up on the list is because I find SpongeBob and Patrick a bit endearing here, like they are trying to help Squidward. Now they ruin it all with the ending to this episode, but they are trying here a lot more than in most Squidward torture episodes, and that's something. At number 6 we have Slide Whistle Stooges. I don't know what it is, but this episode is just off. The first part is a bit annoying, with Squidward being, annoyed by SpongeBob and Patrick slide whistling. But then once Squidward himself gets into the slide whistling and annoying people, it's just weird. It's like that one scene in Squidward, except there it actually made sense for him to act that way. But here he's just out of character for no reason other than plot contrivancy? I think that's what other SpongeBob reviewers usually say, so yeah, this is just a weird episode and it's annoying. And Squidward doesn't deserve any of this, and despite what people on Reddit seems to think, I just read the stupidest comment section on Reddit about how Squidward most often deserves his torment in mid-season SpongeBob, which is just insane to me. This episode is bad. Then at 5, I think, we have The Card. A frustrating and boring episode. Patrick is annoying, but he's just dumb, so the episode isn't anything special. Patrick is always stupid, but here he isn't even funny. And when not even Patrick is funny, you know it's a bad episode. The whole trading card angle could have been interesting, but they do nothing with it. It's not even focused on, and instead the episode spends its time to repeat the same scenario over and over. Patrick goes somewhere where the card can get hurt and SpongeBob has to save it. It's just an annoying episode. I kinda messed up the list a bit, but number 4, I think, I'm really confused right now, but anyway, Pet or Pests. This is the grossest SpongeBob episode, and is way worse than the Splinter in my opinion. These worms should never have been drawn, and are the most disgusting character designs I've ever seen. And the rest of the episode has no substance. Larry wants to eat this world's equivalent of dogs. The worms even bark, which makes it even more messed up. I'll gladly never watch this episode again, making it one of, I think, only 2 episodes I will ever rewatch. Or actually 3, because Sadie's Nutty Nieces exist. At number 3 we have Planktons Regular. Just a sad episode. Just like Squidward, Plankton can't ever be happy, and that is the point that this episode just hammers in. Krabs is super unlikable, and has no reason to try to steal Plankton's only customer. It even makes less sense for him to do all this, as Plankton is focusing on something other than the formula here. And I get that Krabs thinks that Plankton is scheming to get the formula at first, but as soon as he finds out that, is it Nate? Is just Plankton's only customer, there is no reason for him to go out and try to ruin that, because that will just have Plankton be back to try and steal the form. It makes no sense. Krabs sucks, and so does this episode. The ending is insulting and even more sad. Poor Plankton. And the second worst SpongeBob episode of season 6 is The Clash of Triton. What a waste of a special. This is such an uneventful episode, and everything is so anticlimactic. The whole episode amounts to Neptune crying, Patrick and SpongeBob going on the least interesting journey ever to open a cage extremely easily, and then the episode ends. Triton is unlikable, and so is Neptune, and this episode is super boring and just bad. Before the number 1 pick, as usual, let's run through some dishonorable mentions. The Splinter. It's gross and a bit slow, but that's about it. I made a video about why the Splinter isn't as bad as people make it out to be, but I'll just sum it up here. The actual episode isn't even bad without the gross out, just pretty boring. And I think the Dr. Patrick scene saves the episode a bit. It's still nowhere near a good episode, and that's basically what I came to as a conclusion in the video about the Splinter, but I think there's a lot worse episodes of this show and this season. Boating Buddies. Most people would have this on the list, and I definitely see why. SpongeBob is a crazy stalker here, and it's actually uncomfortable to watch him breathing hard and stuff when sitting next to Squidward in boarding school. But the only reason this is just an honorable mention is that it's more entertaining than what's on the list. It's decently funny for a season 6 episode. SpongeBob is not funny at all here, of course, but Squidward is. And the whole car scene is fun to watch and saves the episode a bit. But it's still not good, just a bad plot that ends up being entertaining somehow. And the last honorable mention is the Slumber Party. I don't get why people like this one. Every character is unlikable here. Krabs is being overprotective and prying on Pearl, and Pearl herself is being disrespectful and pretty annoying. Then we have SpongeBob, who kinda just is there, doing what Krabs tells him. I don't find this one funny at all, and the ending doesn't make much sense, although it's the most entertaining part of the episode. It's not that bad though, I can watch this without being too annoyed, just not entertained either. They kind of did this episode concept better in season 12 as well, which is not something that happens often, but Knock Knock Who's There is one of the better episodes of season 12. And Slumber Party is not one of the best in season 6. It's on this list, so it's one of the worst episodes. But it's just an honorable mention. Okay, so the worst SpongeBob episode of season 6 is Choir Boys. This is the worst squid torture episode of the season, and one of the worst of the whole show. SpongeBob stalks Squidward and sabotages his audition to take his place in the men's choir, only because Squidward didn't want to play with him. It's Cephalopod Lodge, but worse. Post-movie SpongeBob is really unlikable, and especially episodes like this make me just dislike his character. It's so crazy that they didn't really do episodes like this in the first 3 seasons, again contrary to what Reddit believes, And then as soon as post-movie started, Squidward started get tortured for no reason. I still dislike The Thing and Breath of Fresh Squidward more than Choir Boys, but this episode is still really bad. So, I was going to say that next week will be the episode reviews, but like for the new season, but they might be out before this video. Y'all are in the future compared to me when I'm recording this, so it's gonna make more sense for you than to me because I have no idea how I'm uploading this. But if this goes up on a Saturday, I'll see you in a week, I guess. Thanks for watching.